I want to start with the empty health bars, and for that we have our computed properties with the bar styles, right? Well, we could change those a little bit and tweak them to make sure that we set our bar widths to exactly 0% if the game is over. That should be fairly easy to do here, because we can check if this monster health, in the monster bar styles, if monster health is smaller than 0. If that's the case, I want to return an object where the width is set to 0%, so that we set it exactly to 0. A negative value can't be displayed, so we need to set it to exactly 0. And only otherwise I return the dynamically calculated health. And we can do the same here, check the player health, the player health. If it's smaller than 0, then I want to return width of 0% and otherwise return the actual value. With that, if I reload and I quickly try to end the game, you see now my health bar is empty now that I lost. And if I try to win here real quick, you see now the monster health is 0. So that seems to work. Now for restarting the game. We could add a button in our game over box below the H3 tags. A simple button like this, where we say start new game. Now this button should do what the name implies. It should start a new game when clicked. For that, of course, we need a method, because we need a new action which we can trigger from inside our HTML code. Hence, I'll add a new method here. The position of the method does not matter, by the way. You can add it at the end, in between, or at the beginning. And I'll just add it here because start game sounds like it should be at the beginning. And in here, I now essentially want to reset all those parameters. So player health, monster health, current round, and winner. This should all be reset when we start a new game. So therefore, we can set the player health back to 100, set the monster health back to 100, set the winner back to null because we have no winner, and of course also set the current round back to 0 because we start a new game again. And now it's start game that should be triggered when this button here is clicked. So we simply add a click listener as we did it many times before and point at start game. And if we now save that and reload, let's give it a try. Let's try to end this game here and see who wins. It's a draw, but we have start new game. And if I click this, you see the health bars update and a new game begins. So this is working here. Let's now also see if we can lose. Yes, and this all works. So now we got this start new game functionality as well. We got the game working therefore, but the surrender button is missing when we want to, well, surrender. And the battle log is missing. A log which I want to have at the bottom of the page, which simply shows every action that happened. So every damage dealt, every health point healed, that should show up here. And I'll implement the surrender button right away in this lecture already, because it will be super easy. If we add a new surrender method, which we of course need to be able to do anything when that button is pressed, I want to set the winner equal to monster, because if the player surrenders, the monster won. Alternatively, we could also set the player health to a negative value, but I don't want to do that here. I don't want to kill the player with, well, by setting the health to 0 or something like that. The player simply surrenders. So we just set the winner to monster and we're good. And now we can go back to index.html, and on that surrender button, we bind it with a click listener to the newly added surrender method, just like that. If we now save that and reload, if I click surrender, I can start a new game. One thing, however, is not ideal. Even if I surrender, I can still press attack and the health bars still update. So we might want to disable all those game action buttons if the game is over. Or remove the controls entirely. if the game is over. And that's actually something I will do here to finish this lecture. We do show this game over container if we do have a winner with VIF. Now this section is a direct neighbor of this section. So here we could make sure that this only shows up if we don't have a winner with not winner, so if winner is falsy, or since it is a direct neighbor, by using VElse, so that we only have those game controls if we don't have a winner yet. And if we do have a winner, we'll not have the game controls. So if I save that again and I surrender, now the game controls are gone and I have to start a new game to bring them back. And the same happens if we lose the game naturally. The game controls are gone and we have to start a new game. And with that, I think the core game functionality is finished now, and next we can work on that battle log. Again, as always, feel free to implement something on your own there. We'll do it together in the next lecture.